do a quick video to explain my experiences with that as a first time newbie with 3D printing. I decided to buy a 3D printer so I could make some accessories and components that aren't available commercially for my tank collection. I bought this cheapy CTC Bizer thing on eBay. It was cheap. I thought I'll give it a go. If it's great, if I get on with it, I might buy a more expensive one. If not, I haven't lost much. I kind of expected it to work out of the box. Perhaps that was a bit too much of an expectation. First off, when you do take it out of the box, there's absolutely no instructions whatsoever. Not even a leaflet that says read the instruction leaflet, which is on the SD card. There was literally nothing. So you get it out of the box and you stick it on the desk and you fire it up and you expect it to work. Well, it didn't. When I eventually did read the manual, which was on the SD card, it was about as much use as a chocolate fire guard. You have wonderful pieces of Chinglish such as this. Do not move away the ceramic fibre on the extruder and the yellow heating foil above the heating plate board. The rest of it is similarly useless. It should, when you first turn the printer on, go into a sort of a calibration mode where it allows you to set the bed height. This didn't, it fired straight up. So I thought, well, that's what you're meant to do. So I set it running and it immediately launched the coating on the bed, the Captain tape and the blue painter's tape. Eventually, after reading lots of forum posts and rereading the instructions multiple times, I did eventually work out how to level the bed properly, and everything sort of worked. I fired it up with PLA after having replaced the bed tape with B&Q own brand painter's tape, which works a treat for PLA. Everything was fine, except occasionally the extruder skipped. I would get maybe 50% of prints would work, 50% wouldn't. I then decided to have a go with ABS. ABS, you have to heat the bed to 110, but even then the extruder was skipping still, and I could not get it to stick to the bed. After lots of working, lots of experimentation, I did find eventually that my bed wasn't flat, which was an enormous help, as you can imagine. So I then bought a glass plate, which is on here now, which is 3mm thick, and you have to put a little 3mm spacer on the back to compensate for that when it does its calibration. Still though, trying to get ABS prints to stick to the bed was not easy. As you do, you go off to Google and you find all these forum posts. First it was hairspray, didn't work jack for me. I tried ordinary PVA glue, stolen from my daughter, didn't work at all. I tried a slurry of ABS from a failed print and smeared that over the bed with some acetone. That worked, sort of. It was okay. It was better than anything else I tried, but it was a devil of a job to clean up at the end. I then settled on Yoo-Hoo brand glue stick, which I found a post on the internet recommending this, and I would recommend this. It really works very well. On your bed before you start, a smear that way, a smear that way, wait for it to dry, and then turn your heated bed on and start your print, and it will stick really well. Sometimes too well. It's quite difficult to get the print back off again. I then decided to have a go at flexible filaments. That caused a whole new kettle of fish. Filaments like this, which is Ninja Flex, which is very flexible. When you try and print this stuff, it sort of wraps up inside the extruder head. So the first thing I tried was a spring-loaded extruder head, which came as a little kit. I have one for each side. I haven't fitted the left side yet, and that has allows the filament is under spring pressure then from the bearing, and that works better. But still, I had a problem with the filament wrapping up inside the printer. So I then designed a little a little ring with a groove in it, which sits here and just fills up that space between the extruder gear wheel, which pushes the filament through, and the housing. That works really quite well. But still occasionally I get the problem where the extruder skips. And it's taken me a long time to figure out what that problem is. If you can have a look on here, I'm running this at 245 degrees, which is far too hot for the material that I'm running, which is flexible TPU, quite a flexible plastic. It's making a mobile phone case at the moment, or trying to, hopefully it'll work. What I found was the temperature of the extruder head, as measured by this software, is wrong. On this machine, I'm sure they'll all be different to a greater or lesser degree. This machine, it measures about 20 degrees hotter than it actually is. So I've set the temperature on here to 245 degrees C. The actual temperature is 223. I've put a second thermocouple embedded on under the screw that holds the original thermocouple down. So I know that most of my skipping problems have been fixed. If I ran this at 230, which is the recommended temperature for this material, it'll actually be running it at about 210, which is just too low, and it gums up the extruder every so often. So I found with this machine, my machine, I have to run it 20 degrees hotter than the recommended, and that'll actually get me the correct temperature. So if you find that you're getting a lot of skipping, extruder jet head blocking up, a number of times I've unpicked this to clean it out, you wouldn't believe. But if you're suffering those kind of problems with one of these MakerBot clone printers, it's well worth just attach a second one. This was a cheap multimeter that came with a thermocouple, which is literally screwed under the bolt which holds the original thermocouple on. And as you can see, it's a good 20 degrees lower than the measured temperature. Now I've sussed that problem, my prints are coming out just fine. There's the 20mm calibration block from this flexible TPU, and you can see it's not super flexible, but it is a good 20mm block. Till next time, cheerio!